What's the funniest thing you or someone you know got arrested for? Had a friend a while ago went to a Halloween party dressed as Lieutenant Dangle from Reno 911. He and another guy wound up getting DUIs and spending the night in jail. DUIs are not funny in the slightest. But watching this dude do the walk of shame out of a precinct dressed as Lieutenant Dangle was one of the funniest things I have ever seen. 3 payments. Genuine ostrich. Just some new boot goofin'. When I was a kid, my mom's friend was arrested once because she threw a piece of fried chicken at her husband. Her husband came home after drinking one night, and saw her eating fried chicken. He asked, "Where the duck is my fried chicken?" To which she replied with a drumstick to the face. He called the cops and my mom had to go pick her friend up from jail, and kept joking she was charged with assault with a deadly chicken. Wait, you can go to jail for that? I mean, it's not really that lethal unless you really know what you're doing, but really? I have a friend who used to drink a lot and get into all sorts of drunken shenanigans. Once at a college football game someone cut in line ahead of him at the porta potties. He got pissed and pushed over the porta potty with the dude in it. Pro tip: if you ever find yourself in a situation where you want to push over a porta potty with someone in it, push it over onto the door. Otherwise you'll quickly find yourself dealing with a very angry, very shit-covered individual. A fight ensued. He nearly got expelled, but it all worked out. Anyway, he's a doctor now. Friend got separated from other friends on his birthday. He got too drunk to answer his phone/call for his friends, but eventually managed to flag a taxi. He was aggressive to the taxi driver and didn't know/remember where his friend lived, so the taxi driver just drove him to the cop shop, jail. He was not in trouble and they were just going to throw him in a cell and let him sleep it off. Instead he yelled some racial slurs, punched the cabbie, and tried to tackle the cop. Assault. Fines. Real jail time. Well, that went well. My mom. Officer gave her a ticket and she decided she didn't want it, so she took it and threw it in the officer's face. When the officer decided to arrest her, she drew her knife and it all went downhill from there. Once a former coworker was trying to get sympathy for his girlfriend being sent up to state. We asked why. He said she was being arrested and didn't want her to go to jail, so she pulled out a knife. That's like trying to douse a flame with Duck King gasoline. How goddamn dumb can you be? One time we were in traffic and my friend needed badly to pee. I dared him to run about 100 yards in front of us, pull his pants down to his ankles, and pee with his bare ass facing traffic. The Duck King madman did it, but there was a cop not too far away and he saw. Got arrested for indecent exposure but nothing too serious. Edit: the cops were cool about it at the station and let him go with a warning. This was in California. In my state he would have to register as a sex offender. Connecticut, for anyone wondering. Have a friend that this happened to, for anyone else wondering. My buddy hates anyone knowing about this, but it's pretty funny. He went to the courthouse to pay a speeding ticket and at the metal detector he emptied his pockets into the container. This included a small bag of weed. He spent the next 5 hours being the butt of a joke as officers took turns laughing at him. Shitty way to get arrested, lol. Drunk, wearing real police uniforms for Halloween and screaming "Duck the New World Order" to actual police. Random story: I interviewed a police lieutenant about Halloween stuff back when I worked at a local paper. This was in a college town, and on Halloween, the police patrolled downtown on foot in full riot gear. He said they constantly got completely serious people saying, "Wow, dudes, nice costumes. You guys look real." I know a woman who got kicked out of the whole state due to a bar fight that happened near state lines. I have forever since felt highly underachieved. I've only gotten 2 speeding tickets. My buddy managed to get banned from an entire town in West Virginia. I'm honestly kinda jealous. You can't just tell us that he got banned from a town and not tell us how he did it. Stick with me here. A friend of mine in college had a fake ID and was arrested for public intoxication. He didn't remember a thing, and upon his release we asked if they also charged him with a minor in possession of alcohol through consumption. He didn't know, so we asked to see his citation. Turns out, when he got arrested, he showed the police his fake ID rather than his real one. So whomever the ID belongs to, you have a public intoxication charge in Lancaster County in Nebraska as of 10 years ago. And therefore, my friend was not charged with anything. Edit: added a word. Must have been one hell of a fake. Didn't get arrested, but I know someone who forgot where their car was parked and then reported it stolen. A while passes, finds car, doesn't report on stolen car, drives to another state, gets apprehended. They had to explain that the car was in fact theirs and they were the actual person who reported it stolen in the first place. Couple friends of mine climbed up a microwave tower in the middle of town. They never would have been caught, but when they got to the top they startled a big flock of pigeons that roost there. When the birds took off they pooped all over them. They started shrieking and cussing and woke up the security guard in the building next door. When I went to post their bail the next morning they still had bird shit in their hair. I saw a lawyer get arrested for resisting arrest on the news. All she was doing was talking. I'm a retired attorney. I once saw a female attorney arrested in family court for asking the judge if he was from another planet. How does something like that end up for everyone? The police arrested my sister for her own safety after finding her drunk in the gutter. She promptly threw up in the back of the police car. They locked her in the cells for the night, but didn't charge her with anything. Penises. Sold my friend a can of spray paint that I stole from my garage. Did the transaction at school with him telling me he'd be painting his bike. Instead, I'm getting called into the office because he ratted on me after he put a huge penis on the bathroom wall. He got vandalism and I got minor in possession of spray paint, which I didn't even know was a thing until they put me in cuffs, lol. Apparently, he'd been doing this a while and the sheriff referred to us as the penis bandits. The fact he ratted on you after saying he was going to use it for his bike shows how much of an utter cunt he was. I hope you're not friends with him. Knowingly bringing a BB gun into school and causing a lockdown. His defense was that he forgot it was in there from the night before at his friend's house and people only saw it when he pulled it out to show his friend. Then someone called the cops. Like, if you find your BB gun in your bag, don't pull it out, that's just asking for trouble. Driving drunk at college campus after his last bachelor's degree exam. What can they do? Expel me? I finally graduated. May. He hit a police car, 0.19%. What can they do? Expel me? Imprisoned drunk driver. Not gonna lie, when I was in uni, I probably would have taken a few days in jail over being expelled. The police arrested my friend for reckless driving after he was caught beating off while driving down a highway. Holding up a laundromat with an airsoft Uzi. 5 friends and myself decided to film a homemade movie in high school. It was similar in genre to the Naked Gun series and Airplane, slapstick comedy. We decided to film a drug bust scene on location as opposed to at one of our houses. Apparently my living room wasn't authentic enough. We decided to go to a local 24-hour laundromat at around 2 a.m. to film the scene. It was obviously empty at that point and we could just film what we wanted and leave. Unfortunately, a NYC transit cop on his way home and saw us in the laundromat from the street and thought our fake guns were all real. Luckily this was in 1996 or we probably all would have been shot and killed. While filming I noticed one police car outside in the parking lot, looked around at the room and actually thought to myself, wow, this looks bad. I decided to walk out slowly to explain what was going on, but as soon as I opened the door over a dozen sets of headlights went on and we were all told to come out with our hands up. Bottom line, we all got arrested for simulating a robbery and received 50 hours of community service. Looking back I was just glad we didn't all get shot. Friend slapped a police horse on the behind at Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Did he get assault on a police officer? In California it's a mandatory charge. To know about the charge, pre-Katrina I saw a guy hit a police horse. The cop who was on the horse grabbed the horse slapper by the ears and took off down Bourbon Street and behind a barrier to wail on him. I do not recommend. Ex-boyfriend got arrested on Halloween, while dressed as the Slim Jim guy, for drinking and riding his bike on the wrong side of the street. Good old college days. When I was 16 and blackout drunk I went into Walmart and shoplifted a bunch of stuff. Dumb enough and all already, right? But it gets worse, better? You know what I shoplifted? A bunch of Hannah Montana stuff. I get drunk and act like a 9-year-old fangirl I suppose. Who was holding your beer though? Probably Miley's publicist. Guy I know fell asleep at 3 in the morning in a mall parking lot. Cops came to check on him and found him sitting there with an ounce of cocaine on his lap. Following that one up was another acquaintance who got pulled over for going the speed limit when everyone else was going a little bit above it. Subsequent search of his vehicle they found $1 million of cocaine. And the funniest part is how he got out of it because he was pulled over without just cause. That's called fruit of the poisonous tree. My cousin got arrested for shoplifting Scooby-Doo on DVD from his local Walmart. He was 22. Like zoinks, man. Tried to hide from a buoy by jumping off his pontoon and hiding under his boat between the pontoons. A friend's high school boyfriend was arrested for staging a fake kidnapping of a friend as he got off the bus. They thought it would be fun to film, and everyone directly involved knew what was happening. The bus driver, however, didn't know and assumed he'd just witnessed a real kidnapping and called the cops. After it became clear that no one was actually kidnapped, they were charged with a bunch of other things, primarily for wasting police resources. Thanks for listening to another episode of Reddit X. Subscribe and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any stories. Feel free to share your own stories below in the comments. Have a good day.